Kelly, and today I'm going to walk you through making some nature sketchbooks. So here's an example of one that you can make. Here's another example. So what you'll need before we start our activity is to gather some cardstock. And so cardstock is just some harder form of paper. You could use like a cereal box. You could use like some watercolor paper. You could use an envelope or like a packing envelope, and yeah, you can get creative. So here we have our piece of cardstock, and then what you want is some thinner paper. So here I have some graph paper. If I'm going to do some drawings, you could use line paper. If you feel like making a journal, in this book we have some watercolor paper. If you feel like watercolor, doing watercolors. So whatever you have around or whatever you feel like, I encourage you to get that now. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold your paper and your cardstock in half, like a book. So you're going to fold it in half, just like this, and there should be a crease in the middle of your book. And you're going to take scissors, and if you're working on this by yourself, this might be a moment where you get a parent or a guardian that you live with to just help you if you're a bit younger, and just be really careful with the scissors. So what you want to do is get something to put the paper on, and you're going to just lightly push the scissors on in the paper at the top and the bottom. And so you're going to make two holes like this, you can see. Then you're going to have gone outside and found like a nice straight stick, or if you have a pair of chopsticks lying around, you can open the chopsticks and take one of the chopsticks out and use a chopstick. Or if you want to go just the simple old-fashioned staple way, you can take a staple, and instead of even doing the holes, you can just crease the book and staple with the staples, the soft side or the flat side of the staples on the outside, and then the sharper side in the center. So there's lots of options right now, but you've just made your two holes, and you can also just use a rubber band, or you could use some string that you have lying around the house. And you're going to take your twig or your chopstick, and you're going to put it on the outside of your book like this. Then you're going to take your rubber band, and you're going to put the rubber band through the hole at the bottom and leave a little bit sticking out, and put your stick or chopstick through the rubber band like that. So now it'll hold in place, and you're going to put the book down on the ground, and you're going to pull the rubber band all the way up to the other hole, and you're going to thread the rubber band through the other hole towards the top of the book. And this part can be a little tricky, so don't get frustrated. It might take a couple of tries. And you want to make sure that your hole is really defined so that you can get the rubber band through. And if you're having a hard time, sometimes it's helpful to have another person help you hold the stick at the bottom. And then once you get the rubber band through, then you kind of loop it over the top. And so then you have the rubber band looped over the stick at the top and the bottom, and then stretched out in the middle like so. Then you can fold it up, and you have your nature journal. You can replace the stick for a chopstick if you prefer. I also find that the chopstick might be easier if you're going to use the journal to write, because it's not as bulky of a stem, but I'm just trading out the chopstick. So another option is to have the chopstick be your binding over here. And another option is if you get frustrated with the rubber band, or if you just want a different look, you can use the string. And just like you have the rubber band, you just thread the string through the bottom and the top of the book. And then you can choose to either bind it, with the chopstick, or you could just take the chopstick out altogether and the rubber band out, and you can tie it in the back, like so. And then you have it held in that way. So those are just several ways to make a nature journal. Earlier this month, we had made nature prints. And so one thing you can do once you finish your book is you can get some glue or tape and you can attach your nature print into your journal. Or you could put on the cover, whatever you feel like. So those are just some options. This is an example of a journal that a kid that I worked with last summer made. This is all watercolors, and she drew it outside. And then she was painting the background, and she was going to continue to write on it here. So lots of different things that you can do with your journals. I hope you're enjoying the summer and finding lots of ways to be outside while we continue to deal with the uncertainty of quarantine. So thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you again soon.